Hi everyone, this is Jay Harris coming to you from Tom's Trading Room. I have a video presentation for you here, a little bit of training on a subject or a tool within the tools that we haven't shown you in a video for a couple of years now. It's called the Correlation Analyzer. So what you want to do to find that is hover over the Stocks tab, hover over Stock Analysis, and then left click on Correlations. Now what we're doing here is we're looking for a stock or a list of stocks that you want to see if they correlate to the Dow. So if the Dow is making a nice steady uptrend, you want to see the stocks that you favor or find any stocks that correlate as close to 100% as the Dow as possible. Now you can create your own custom list. You don't have to use any of the lists that are already pre-built. If you have a batch of stocks that you favor that you want to see if they correlate and how well they correlate, you can use these tools. You can also look at the inversely correlated, and that's just looking at, well, if the Dow is making a solid uptrend, which ones are going counter to that or are trading down. And you can do that by doing the following. Now recognize correlation days length. It's defaulted to 180. You can set that to whatever you like between 5 and 250. We're going to look at two separate lists. We'll look at the first list, and we want to see if that list and how well that correlates to the second list. We'll leave it pennies and weeklies. Again, you can click on the drop down and select any list that you want. If you've created your own list, you'll be able to find that now in this master list as well. Then you want to correlate that to a particular index or ETF. You can do that right here. We'll leave it the DJX. And so we're going to see how or what stocks in the pennies and weeklies list correlate as close to 100% or which are the highest correlated to the DJX. Left click on Analyze. When that repopulates, you're going to see the different ETFs and stocks and how well they correlate. You're going to see the top 28, 29, 30 of these stocks and how they correlate to the DJX. And what you're going to get by doing this right now is a lot of ETFs to begin with. Find a stock and you'll see back here United Technologies. It's about an 80% correlation, so 0.797. And if you want to write that down or note that, then note the other ones like Citigroup, American Express, Morgan Stanley, and so on. So here's the deal. Now that's the ones that are the highly correlated stocks from the pennies and weeklies to the DJX. You can take a particular stock if you like. So click on the button there for use this optionable stock or index symbol and change it to the one that you want. So UTX, let's go ahead and just go UTX alone and click Analyze. This is just an example of how you can just type and do this search on a specific stock or ETF versus a whole list of stocks. And there's your line item down there again, 0.797. You can also take a look at a shorter length of time. So let's go ahead and select back to the pennies and weeklies, and let's just see which of these pennies and weekly stocks over the past month are correlating with the Dow. And click Analyze, and you can see the list repopulates here. And did UTX stay on the board? No, it dropped off. But here's one, COF, that over the last 30 days versus 100 days is an 80+% correlation to the Dow. So you've got the correlation analyzer. You can look at those that are highly correlated. And again, you can put your own list in there and compare it against the DJX or the triple Qs or whatever. Oh, here's another nice thing. Look, it already has a handful of other ETFs indexes to compare against. So if you don't want to do it against just the DJX, you want to look at how it does against the OEX, DJX, the IWM, the Russell 2000, and such. You can click on that button, click Analyze, and you know what, I want to change it to UTX. You can do it over the list or the stock. So let's take the stock and see how it correlates to all of these ETFs here instead of just the one. Click Analyze. You'll get the different light items for all those different ETFs, and then you'll be able to see UTX for each one, how it correlates to each one of these. If you favor one index over another, you can now see which index do you think is the premier index for the market. You know, maybe you think the triple Qs, the technology sector overall, is outpacing the overall market. So you can compare the stocks on your list or a particular stock to just the Qs if you like. Then lastly, you can go inversely correlated. We'll change it back to the default of 180 days. We'll go back to the pennies and weeklies, and we'll go back to the comparison on which of these penny and weekly stocks or ETFs inversely correlate to the DJX. Click on Analyze, and you will see down below here a re-ranking, and you can see the negative numbers here and how they aren't close to 100%. They're way less than that. So let's take a look. HL, FXE, RAD, UUP, Riot, UNG. Nonetheless, here you go, folks. If you like to be more of a contrarian, say which stocks are going against the grain, and you want to look at some maybe bearish positions on those, there's your opportunity. If you like to stick with the trend, trade with the trend, the correlation analyzer helps you get that done. Just make sure you have it set to the highly correlated versus inversely correlated, and you are all set to go. That'll wrap it for this session. Bye for now.